"I'm changing my last name," she said, twirling her hair like the sentence didn't just split my world in half. "I'm moving in with a real man," she added, with that same radiant smile she once reserved for me. I didn't flinch, I didn't argue. I just looked at her across the dining table, the place where we built our lives one dream at a time, and nodded. "Of course," I said. Calm. Too calm. She thought it was weakness. It wasn't. When she left, she took half the furniture, the dog, and the last piece of her decency. What she didn't take, what she couldn't, was the foundation beneath her name. We met in college. She was bold, loud, alive, everything I wasn't. She called me steady, like it was a compliment. I built her life brick by brick, a business, a house, a name she proudly wore on every legal document. My last name. She loved the prestige that came with it, loved the way people's tone changed when they heard it. The family name, one respected in law, business, and bloodline. She said she'd earned it. I believed her, until I didn't. The first crack appeared 6 months before she left. Late nights, hidden messages, a new perfume that wasn't hers. I asked once, casually, if she was happy. She laughed, the kind of laugh people use to cover guilt. That night I checked her phone. The messages were simple, explicit, selfish. Him. A contractor we'd hired. A man who didn't know her favorite coffee, but apparently knew the color of her bed sheets. She called him a real man. I remember sitting in the dark, watching her sleep. I didn't feel rage, I felt clarity. She thought she'd traded up. She didn't realize she'd stepped off a cliff. The next morning I went to my lawyer, not for divorce papers, for a transfer. You see, the family name wasn't just a title. It was an entity, a legally registered corporate identity attached to every business, property, and trust under my lineage, my father's foresight, my inheritance. When you married into our family, you didn't just take the name, you joined it, legally and financially. And when you left everything tied to it. She didn't know I'd already updated the trust weeks earlier, placing full authority under my signature alone. She didn't know that by changing her last name, she was voiding her position in every joint asset, the house, the cars, even her startup that I had registered under the family's holding company. So when she signed the papers, gleefully reclaiming her independence, she unknowingly stripped herself of every legal right connected to our name. And I let her, with a calm smile and a co-signature. A week later, her father showed up. I still remember the sound, the violent knock against the oak door. His face was pale, eyes darting, like a man who'd just read his daughter's obituary. He was holding the notice, the formal declaration of her removal from the family's legal trust. He choked, waving the papers. "Tell me you didn't just let him void the family name?" I didn't say a word. I didn't need to, because he knew. He understood. His daughter, his pride, had just erased the one thing that gave her everything she bragged about, and I simply let her. 2 days later she called. Her voice was shaky, desperate. You tricked me." "No," I said softly. "You tricked yourself. You can't just—" "I didn't do anything," I cut in. "You changed your name. You filed for independence. The law just followed your wish." There was silence. Then the sound of her sobbing. That was the first time in months I felt something close to peace. She tried to fight it, of course, filed petitions, claimed coercion, but the documents were flawless, every clause airtight, every signature hers. The man she left me for disappeared soon after. Turns out he wasn't interested in a woman stripped of money, name, and status. He moved on. She didn't. She moved back to her father's house, the same place she used to mock for being too small, too plain. Now it's all she has left. Sometimes I pass by the cafe where she used to meet him. The window still reflects the same empty chair, the same flicker of neon lights over glass. I sit outside, sip my coffee, and think about how easily people trade loyalty for illusion. Revenge wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It was in the silence of her realization, the weight of her choices crashing in. People think revenge is about destruction. It's not. It's about precision, patience, poise. It's about letting someone walk right into the trap they built for you and letting the law, the truth, and their own arrogance do the rest. She wanted to change her name. She succeeded. She just didn't know what that would cost. Now, when people ask me why I didn't fight, why I stayed so calm, I just smile. Because I didn't lose a wife. I lost a liar. And she didn't lose a husband. She lost everything attached to the name she tried to erase.